Hello, everybody. My name is Katie Cook, punk rock girl spoken word. I'm recording my second video piece. I just got done writing this piece. It's kind of late, so I don't know. Whatever. Hope you like it. It's called The Fair Fight. It's written about somebody, and they probably won't ever hear it. But you know what? Whatever. You guys can hear it. Without further ado. 1,000 angry feminists came knocking at my bedroom window last night, like Edgar and his Mysterious, rapping at my chamber door. They said, "Hey lady, join our revolution." And I said, "No thanks." "You don't believe in equal rights?" I said, "No, you stupid whores. I believe in a fair fight." As I followed my H with a T, 2,000 breasts came running toward me like a storm of water balloons from a graduating class of a small city. I guess all is fair in love and war, but closure will keep me warm, and a friendship will make for a light sparkle rather than a hailstorm. But in this case, when it rains, it pours. Your head under my shirt and you hiding behind my skirt. I'd never felt so reliable. I would have been there to destroy your fears like wildfire to California. I would have been there with wet shoulders and the same blood type in case you fell too hard and it scraped your knees. As I held you like a boy, I wanted to feel motherly. I wanted to put you on a pedestal and see you stand high, but you squirmed out of my arms and went back to rock bottom. The most painful part of all of this is when you pushed me away. Then I realized I had hit a fiery pit rather than rocks. You pushed me with more force than a flat palm on a prescription bottle, and while I had cracked fingernails and dirty jeans, it was nothing compared to the cracks like an old coffee mug that had been engraved in my heart as mushy as a nursing home's lunch. I stood as solitary as a spoken word writer's words. My back was turned, and the next thing I knew I had a brand on the back of my neck. I traced it with my fingers, and it turned out to be a mutated K. The sign of the devil in this case, I suppose. I stood solitary. I stood above a pit of demons that resembled all my idols. Joey and Dee Dee, Sid and Nancy. I guess you all were right about me. I felt a push, and it started one angry feminist, creating a revolution all of her own. As my body at home stared straight up to the clouds in peace, I was making my way up from the hells. The lava stuck to my body like chocolate syrup as I crawled from the grasping hands, and as the begging screams faded in the distance of all the tiny crevices, I had stopped to ask myself at one point, how the fuck do I get myself into this shit? I laughed at my ignorance and shook at my misfortune. I powered down my determination like you joke you wanted to do with your remains. I remember the half in necklaces, half over New Mexico. I powered it between two rocks, jarred it, and wore it around my neck like a mother to a macaroni necklace. I guess I still could feel motherly. As long as I could see it, it had to be there. Like you had said. I'm there, unlike anyone else. I walked across burnt coals all the way from the center to the crust to the land. I didn't lie when I said I'd walk through hell for you. The night had set in the sky as I limped from a cave that looked like a mischievous prisoner had dug with a spoon 20 years out of his life sentence. I walked, limping, trading each foot the pleasure of being held up as the other bounced in pain all the way in Niagara Square. At that moment, the 14 had slammed on its brakes, and out came the bus outcast. The lady who knits all clothing, the black woman who never knew me by any other name other than silly white girl, the young autistic man who was convinced I was a Japanese comic character, the grandmother with Alzheimer's who was undergoing a miracle at this point. She had an idea of what the fuck was going on. The bus driver with a crew cut that resembled McDonald's french fries. They all got together, and they all lifted me. Perfection was not a word these people ever understood, but I had it. And by touching me, by carrying me, maybe I could rub off. They knew our first kiss, our first date, our plans. I never confided, and I never held more hands than I did on a city bus. And at this point, these people had a better grasp on reality than I did. The reality was, nothing ends without confrontation. Nothing ends in silence. Nothing remains a secret. And they carried me to the top of City Hall. I held on to the point at the very top harder than a second grader to a pencil in his first week of cursive writing. And with your dark hair and looks of normalcy, you stood out, like a butterfly among caterpillars. as if your hair was as bright as the orange sunrise behind me, as if you were nude beside your wings, which was really just the opposite. I pointed at you, and everyone saw you, simply because I did. I felt a hand between my shoulder blades, and a push. I broke my back off the pavement on a busy roundabout, the angry cunt worshipper looking down at me. I yelped like a dog and I cursed like a sailor. But it's not over till the day I die. And like Michael Myers, you can stab me, shoot me 12 times, and throw me out the window. And all I will do is pause. I walked over the skyway with a broken back. I stopped off at a no-co to fix my makeup, which is smeared across my cheeks like war paint. I grinned and saw a line of lipstick across my cracked teeth. I saw your brick house if it was a mirage in a hot desert walk, only I'm sure it was real as the police followed me there with cynical stares. When I had made it, I dropped like a centipede covered in hairspray, but my legs stayed attached. I heard a rush of high voices, snickers and whistles. I held back my laughter as if I were playing a game of hide-and-go-seek. It filled me to the brim and I let it out like the first one laughing in Heads Up 7-Up. Nothing remains a secret. I will fight fair, and I will lose a battle to win this war.